Unsyndicated presents What the Puck with Sean Baligian.
He is Mike. I'm Sean. How you doing? Everything going well? Fantastic then. Hey, Mike, at what point in time are we going to go, all right, the Wings are pretty good? Are we at that? Are we at that point yet or no?
Well, there's two things with that. I think we can get to that point because there's a lot of good things to see, but I'm going to trump you one on that one, Sean. And when are we going to say that Dylan Larkin is taking that next step?
I agree with you.
We can't deny it for much longer.
I agree with you.
It's the beginning of the year. I need to see longevity in all of this because we've seen him have hot streaks. But right now, Sean, he's right there with the leaders of the NHL.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Along with Nick Suzuki. I just needed to point that out. What is it? He's tied for third. He's tied for third in points and second in goals, right? Isn't that?
I think it's second. I think he's got 8, and I think the leaders all have 9 with some Cole Caulfield guy.
Yeah. Who scored another goal in overtime, by the way.
Does he have all 9 of his goals in overtime?
I think they're all in overtime. I do. I think they're all in overtime. Isn't it funny though? I mean, you look at those two teams atop of the division, and look, how many times do we see it? All right. There's teams that start out hot. Tampa every year seemingly starts out slow and then picks it up and gets going. And by the time the playoffs start, people are going, are they going to do it again? But at the end of the day, Mike, this is a scenario right now where you have to look at the start from both the teams atop the Atlantic Division and say, yeah, this is legitimate, right?
I think so. I mean, we've been saying it. We've been expecting it for a while. Did we think it would come out this hot one year? No, we thought it'd be a little bit more of a Canadians progression, let's say, right? You're doing okay. You're getting up there. You make the playoffs. Now you're hot. The Wings are coming out of nowhere, but I don't think either of us are shocked. So we were talking about the Wings. Again, we say it's for real. Larkin, is he taking the next step? Sean, when are you going to start admitting things about your team?
I do. I'm not being funny. They're legitimate. They're okay. Do you know what I worry about? Okay, so let me tell you what I worry about. Demidov is unbelievable. Like watching him game in, game out, it's unbelievable. Even in the games that he doesn't get anything, there's so many moments with him. I worry about secondary scoring a little bit with them, Mike. I do. I worry about secondary scoring. It seems like Bolduc comes on in flashes. I don't think it's ever going to happen for Kirby Dach, and that was a guy I kind of fell in love with a couple of years ago, if you remember. Yeah. That's what I worry about. I worry about some of the secondary scoring with them. Their defense score is silly good. It really is. And I will keep Dobish is better than Mountain Blows. I have no other way to say. I have more on that in a second. I almost sent you a tweet. I should look for it right now on Les Entrechambles. It is this Quebec show that I watch. I'll get to it in a second, but no, they're can we define legitimate? I'm not going to go as far as you are to say that they could win the East. Are they a team of winning a playoff series or two? I think so. I really, truly think so. Yes.
Yeah, they are a team you do not want to play in the playoffs. Youth, exciting, fast. They can score goals. And to your secondary scoring, and it's not going to happen for Kirby Dach. I get you. If he can stay healthy, if he can finish the year, that is going to be an absolute asset to that secondary scoring. And I mean, let's say it doesn't happen this year, Sean, like I'm saying it's going to. You've got 2 of the top 3 rookie of the year candidates right now on that team. It's just really, really happening for them. So I figured I'd have to throw that in and see if we could get some legitimacy out of them, but they are for real.
What do you like about the Red Wings right now? Because I went back. You and I didn't start this yet, but I know we touched on this last week. I started, and this is even before the points were coming in bunches. When McClellan kind of went off on the team and said, okay, if not now, when, and all that stuff, you want to see who responds, and to look at that. I just popped up. See, Todd, you know what? I was trying to resend the thing out there, and it wouldn't let me do it, and it just posted on there. Isn't that funny? That's really weird. Sorry. That's it. But Mike, to me, it started with the motor. It started with the go. It started for all the things that McClelland asked for. And again, an offshoot of this is it's a lot of young guys producing. But that's where it started with me. I thought that Dylan Larkin really led by example.
And you hit them all on the head. You've got to start at the top with Dylan Larkin. We have questioned this captaincy more than once, Sean. Mm-hmm. And what he's doing right now is exactly what he needs to do. Then I talked last show about this is going to be McClellan. This is McClellan. He's going to have to coach these guys. And he seems to have his finger on the pulse of that locker room. And he knows what it takes because they're responding to him. And the young guys are responding to him. And that is good. So when they get out to a slow start, would they give up a goal in 49 seconds yesterday, right?
Yep.
It didn't phase them. They came right back, and we see what the end result was. That is improvement. You need to be better every time you're on the ice. Yes, there's going to be setbacks, but within those setbacks, you have to see that they're improving, especially in everything that your coach wants to. That's hard with a young team, and they seem to be doing it right now. Are there concerns? Absolutely, especially with some young kids that we expected to be better.
No doubt about that. A couple comments. Mine, Wings, legit start. Habs and Wings run the Atlantic. We'll see. That game last week, Quebec and Hartford, was awesome. The jerseys were a spectacle. If that doesn't bring a tear to your eye, I'm so serious. I don't know what does. That was so stinking cool. Like, Mike, I forget which team it was that put it out. It may have been Colorado. It may have been Carolina. My guess is it was Carolina because, like, we follow each other and everything. But they showed the picture of warm-ups. And honest to God, it was like, wait a second. Is this October of 1986? It was so cool seeing those jerseys out there, you know?
And that's what you want from something like that, the throwback jerseys. You want to be able to have people reminisce about back when we were young and back in those times. And that's exactly what they got out of those. It has to happen more. It is excellent.
Yeah, no doubt. A couple other comments that I want. Good evening, my buddy Tom. The rookies for the Wings are playing good so far. That is half the battle. I don't think we can talk enough about this. And that's what makes this start to me, Mike, a little more exciting than like an average good start is, you're not seeing the bum of the month, the guy that's here on a last contract, or Eisman's trying to milk whatever he can out of it. You are seeing these young pieces that are now suddenly contributing to the greater good. And I think that to me is huge. Now, again, guys, I'm going to say it again. I think this start is legit. We're going to find a lot out when you go on the West Coast. And it's not like it's murderer's row. This isn't murderer's row, but the West Coast is really difficult. But to Tom's point, Mike, to me, that's half the fun of what's going on right now. I mean, we talked so much about Emmett. There's no doubt about that. But seeing Edvinsson with a couple goals the other day, seeing these young guys, and let's face it, I mean, it's not like ASP is lit it up. It's not like Casper has lit it up. It's not like, some of them, they haven't even hit the stride yet or anywhere near it.
Yeah, and that was the one that I was talking about. Was you mentioned Casper? Like I expected a lot more. You remember we had the conversation last year of who's got that big time in him, and I thought Casper had it. He seems to be playing beer league hockey, in my opinion. A lot of, if you remember Henrik Zetterberg's comment, poke and hope.
Yeah,
that's got to change. I have to put this out here to Tom here. We like what the rookies are doing. Nygaard's already back in Grand Rapids. They talked about it. They said he understood it. He's got to get some things together. He was the youngest one on the team. Is ASP next at the -8? He's getting 20 minutes a game. He's got 2 points. He doesn't seem to overcome some of the mistakes he's making. Are they going to let him continue to I hope they let him continue to learn by fire here in the NHL. But they're getting there. We need to see a little bit more, right, before we get too excited. But, Sean, you hit it on the head. I tune in right now. You know my feelings on early season hockey, right? I don't get too excited about it. I'll watch the Wings because I want to watch those guys.
No question. No doubt. I want to look at the standings in just a second. I'm going to run through the league with you, and there are a few teams that we need to talk about. I'm just going to ask you basic questions. I want to get through some of the comments already. Next time you talk to Gary, could you get him to work on the schedule? Hate the 16 games in one night, then one the next. I think there was a day with no games a few weeks ago. Okay, we were talking about this with our buddy Hubie, okay? I don't mind. It's a gimmick, okay? Everybody's playing. This is the best. This is the best, okay? But to your point, Cornstalker, that's moronic. That's everybody one night, and then you have a game tonight. A singular game tonight. I don't get that. I know nobody likes to play back-to-backs and all that stuff, but come on. At least have a couple back-to-backs. By the way, Blue Jackets 2-0 up on Maple Leaf, for what it's worth.
Now, we want to improve upon everybody playing 16 games. Sean, you know where I'm going with this, because They need to make it a Mike and Sean day. Let's start at noon. Let's fire up the grill. Let's fire up the smoker. Let's smoke food all day. Let's eat food all day. We'll have a couple beverages. Noon. That way you can spread. Like, you can't watch all the games in a 4-hour span there from 8 o'clock to that was ridiculous. Spread it all out. And this whole people won't go. How does baseball exist? I keep saying that. How does baseball exist? If you put a sport out there and you put it at noon, someone's going to take a customer. There's businesses that have suites. It's going to happen. Make it more enjoyable throughout the day. And that way, those teams that play at noon, 1, 2, and 3, you can play them the next day a night game, because it's an extended period. You can do things like that.
100%.
I'm not a smart man, but I can see that. I do like food, and I think we should be grilling for an all-day event.
I would love nothing more, Mike, after the regular season of college football ends, and that first week of December, you have the conference championships. Let's say the second Saturday in December. Why not do a day like that? We're starting at noon, and our last games are going on at 10:30 at night. If you're going to do something like that, to Cornstalker's point, if you're going to do something like that, do it on a Saturday like that, where there really isn't a lot going on. People aren't quite into the college basketball thing yet. Maybe you got an NFL game that day, depending on what Saturday it is. I would love an idea like that. Just all day Saturday, let's go. That's what we're going to do.
They really fired us up with those COVID schedules, Sean, and they've never capitalized on it. Those were amazing.
So I want to ask you, let me get through. I'm going to ask you about some teams, Flyers and Hurricanes and the Cooperalls. That would be fun. I'm happy to finally see some of these young guys, and the wild peaks and valleys will be fun. No doubt. 1967 bitch. Let's start with the Toronto Maple Leafs. They have a meandering start. There's no other way to say that. A meandering start. What are the Maple Leafs, Mike?
The Maple Leafs are figuring it out. They're figuring out life without Mitch Marner. And it's going to be a season of, did we make the right choice with the way we went? And it's going to be more of, I do see them in the playoffs. I do see it more of a playoff time tell, whether you're going to miss Mitch Marner. But during the season, 100 points? You're missing a ton there. And they really didn't replenish it, fully. So they're going to figure things out. They have to figure out, I think, a new life and a new game to play, and it's going to be a playoff game.
Florida Panthers. I'll go. Anybody that's worried about the Florida Panthers hasn't paid attention the last couple of years. That's all I'll say. And Mike, you can disagree with that if you want. I have a feeling you're not going to disagree with that. I don't give a damn if they get one of the wild card spots. If you can't figure out what's going on, and this is a team that just finds a way to get right at the playoff, I don't know what to tell you. I really, truly don't. The Tampa Lightning, another meandering start. Mike, somebody asked me literally last week, is this the beginning of the end? I say no. What say you?
I think so. And it gets into not just what we're seeing right now. It was, and even with, if you are second guessing the Florida Panthers, you don't know what's going on. Look around. You remember that playoff Florida and Tampa, right? Somebody here had Tampa. Somebody was riding Tampa. This is Tampa. They're going. Florida's done. Florida was not done, clearly. Florida wins the Stanley Cup, and they really made Tampa look silly, and I haven't seen them come back since. So I think it might be that time. Now, do they still have the pieces? And Cooch is one of my favorite. I'm always going to have a bet on him at the end of the year for some kind of an award. But I'm on the other side of it, Sean. I think this is the dark side of the moon.
I think the Leafs are missing Mitch more than they thought they would. Yes, the Panthers will float around 3-4 of their season, then get in the playoffs and be the hardest out. Couldn't agree more, Jason. The New Jersey Devils, the 8-2 New Jersey Devils, are they a middle-of-the-pack team, Mike? Are they a team that you might think about taking care of business in the Met?
I think they are somewhere in between that.
Okay.
I think they are healthy. And when they're healthy, this is what they look. Jack Hughes is just a dynamic player, and you see that. But when he goes down, Sean, they lose almost everything. I think they are very underrated, solid on the backside. I think they got a couple injuries right now, including Markstrom. So we'll see how long Dowles and Allen can keep it alive and keep them going. I don't think they are what they're showing right now, but I don't think they're too far behind.
All right, it's my turn. Pittsburgh Penguins. A really incredible start for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And quite frankly, both Sidney Crosby and Geno Malkin have turned back the clock. They're amongst the scoring leaders right now. Great starts. The Penguins are, I'm going to look it up to be sure, I believe 7-2-2. Yeah, they're 7-2-2. Are they legit, Mike? Absolutely, positively not. I do not believe they are legit. I think they fall off hard by the time the trade deadline rolls around.
And I think if you're a Pittsburgh Penguin fan, don't take offense to that. Enjoy that, because I think there's some guys that are showing some life right now that are going to bring you either prospects or picks at the trade deadline, as long as your GM doesn't mess it up. And I don't know if I trust him, but I think you're right, Sean. I think the age on the back end is going to really drag down. I don't think they have the netminder to do these kinds of things. But again, I think it's going to bring them some good returns, especially what they get out of Montreal when they send Crosby.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. The Philadelphia Flyers. A little bit of a surprising start for the Flyers. Mike, what are the Flyers? Do you buy? Are you buying on Flyer stock?
I would buy some stock in there. I really like the refresh start for Zegras. I like what I see out of them. The unfortunate thing is it's a lot of the same, but it's a fresh coach, after Torts is gone, that I think is bringing a little bit of life to him. I just don't know how much they have, especially on the back end and in net to list, but I like the youth that they have. I watched a little bit of that Pittsburgh Flyers game last night. I like what I see, so I'm buying. What's that?
I like that Brink kid.
And they're what I thought they would have done well with Torts is they got a lot of piss and vinegar in those guys. They almost all have it. So I like it. The fresh voice in the locker room is going to be good. Do they have enough to really go too far? No, but I would buy stock in them. I like Philadelphia.
I'm sorry. I am a guy I've said for a year and a half, I think the New York Rangers are fraudulent. They showed it in the playoffs. They're Charmony soft. They fell back. A lot of people thought they'd come back up. Mike, they can't score goals. I think this is going to be a problem all year for the Rangers.
Yeah, I see that. And they've been pitching. They got to get these guys like Panarin. They got to get guys out of there. They've got to get something. 100. But Sean, he's going to bring something back.
Of
he's going
he
to
will.
bring something back.
Doubt about it.
That's the unbelievable thing. And again, just like we said, when Tarasenko went to the Panthers, like he's a guy. If he goes to the right spot, Sean, watch out. I think he could really pay dividends, and he's going to bring something back. But yeah, I'm out on the Rangers.
All right, let's look at the Western Conference when we come back. I want to tell you about All About Catering LLC, full service caterer, graduations, weddings, bridal showers, corporate events, anything you need catering for from 25 to 4,000 people. All About Catering can and will take care of you. Customer service and satisfaction is their number one goal. So don't sweat your next big event. Just go to allaboutcateringllc.com today to see all their menus and their 5-star reviews. Call Rick. He and his staff will take care of you. 586-731-1398 to get your event started. Oh, you know what? Before I forget, so there is this show. I've probably sent you things from this show before. It's called L'Entrechambre. It's in Montreal, and I kid you not, on yesterday's episode, okay? So there was Guy Carbonneau, Stéphane Waite, Vincent Danfous. I forget who. There were a bunch of guys. And do you know what they were talking about? They were talking about Je me souviens. And I will remember. And a couple of the panelists were giving Marty St. Louis shit for not playing the French-Canadian goaltender. That's real. Can you imagine something like that happening? Like, how pathetic is that right now? Okay. And again, I'm not even saying it's over, it's done, whatever. Mike, this is sports 101 though. Okay. If one guy is playing not just better, but a lot better than the other guy, you ride him, right? It's common sense. And somebody was giving him shit last night on the show. I'm not making this up. You can look up. I'll send you a tweet afterwards talking about, well, wait a second. This is a French-Canadian guy. Maybe we should be giving him more time. Okay.
But you talk about this all the time. You've told me many stories about this, and you've been on the Montablos one for a while now. That they are forcing it to happen. They want this to happen, right?
They are. No doubt.
It's real.
Ron said, and Ron, I totally agree with this. Ron said about the Wings. They started hot a year ago. Talk to me after 25 games. I get it. But that right now, the bank of trust right now with the Detroit Red Wings isn't very there isn't a lot in the bank account, Mike. But the one thing that I would say that is different about this group is its relative age. How's that? That's what makes it a little bit different.
We've talked about this, and it's not just the age. It seems to be the way they respond, and I'll say it again. I think McLeod has the finger on the pulse of this locker room, and we have questioned this locker room for a couple of years now, Sean. And he seems to have his finger on the pulse of it, and it starts at the top. When you have a guy that is going to follow you, and Larkin, and maybe it was when he spoke up against Yzerman and the moves that they made or didn't make at the deadline, gets these guys behind him. Even he's part of this, and the coach and the captain go hand in hand, and it seems to be working. They've got to stay young and let those young guys follow Larkin. It's just got to happen.
All right, I got to ask you, the Utah Mammoth, a tremendous start. Schmaltz in particular, my feelings about Christian Keller. I think he's completely underrated. Mike is donning the hat. Mike, the Utah Mammoth, legit or not legit?
I'm going to go legit with an asterisk. I don't trust this goaltending for anything. And that's going to be the scary part about it. Do they make a move? Possibly. They've got everything else going on for them. and
They'll
Schmaltz.
get lots of blows.
Right? They with God, you you totally lost me. But we're talking about the goaltending, but they've got the scoring, the offense is going. They've got guys, Sergachev. They've got a lot of pieces here to do this. I just don't know about the goaltending, but I'm buying in. I'm buying in. They're exciting. This is a team you've been and have been questioning for a couple of years. Like, how are they not doing it? You've been talking about this for a couple of years.
So let me ask you this, though, okay? Do you think that they finish above Colorado, Winnipeg, and Dallas? I think they have wild card written all over them. One man's opinion. I think they have wild card written all over them.
The only team in there that I would question would be Winnipeg, just because Winnipeg goes Winnipeg. I just think Dallas and Colorado are two veteran-laden and just solid of hockey teams.
I will say I have seen the Kraken twice. I like the Kraken. I really do. I like the Kraken. I think part of the reason I like the Kraken is because a certain team that wears blue, blanc, et rouge is 2-0 against them with 2 overtime victories. I like the Kraken. I'm going to say the same thing about the Kraken that I just said about Utah, however. Do I think that they're going to finish ahead of Edmonton, Vegas, and LA? No. I think they are staring at a wild card.
I'm going to even say I'm less on that one. Like I see them staring on possibly missing the play. I don't think they can score enough, and you can only keep so many pucks out of your net when it comes down to it, especially in the wild, wild west. I would have them missing the playoffs.
All right. Who gets it? Like Vancouver? Anaheim's off to kind of a surprising start, a year or two early, obviously. Who are you looking at?
The Wild have to come up. The Wild core forwards, along with that solid defense. Yeah. That's a team I see. They are not who they are right now. They are going to be a better hockey team.
How about the start in Chicago as well? I mean, it's listen, I like both those guys. I don't hide it. I know Blash. I know Vellucci. I think they've done a hell of a job with this team. I don't think the Chicago Blackhawks are legit in any way, shape, or form. But Bedard's off to the good start. How about local guy Nazar? Frankie's off to a good start. They've got pieces in Chicago. Pieces, granted. There's a lot more pieces that need to be there. But they've got some pieces there, Mike. I like what Chicago has.
Yes, and this is probably the most pieces that Bedard has had, and he's only going to benefit from that. And I think finally you'll start seeing the greatness of Bedard stick out.
He looked pretty good last night. I was watching part of that. He looked pretty good last night.
You know, another one of these guys that are looking young, and I get excited when I think about what I'm about to say, just because you always want that. You want that youth, and you want that battle. You know, the Crosbys and these guys coming up. What about Celebrini? Yes. The Celebrini, Bedard. I mean, this is our future. This is what, as old men in the retirement home, we're going to be talking about. I remember when he was drafted, Sean. Celebrini's a man.
Oh, he is. Hey, and let me tell you something. They're loaded. They have got a lot of talent in that system. They really do. They're another team. And please, I'm not going Hab slappy. Okay. You guys can look this up. Montreal still has quite a few guys waiting in the wings too. That's kind of scary, including that kid they took in the second round last year that people are just going over right now and everything. San Jose might have the deepest group out there, Mike. They really do. Now, again, does that mean that these guys are going to translate? I don't get excited until I watch Ivan Demidov go do Ivan Demidov things, until I watch Macklin Celebrini do Macklin Celebrini things. Until then, it's just all talk. But with that being said, an embarrassment of talent within San Jose. Anaheim's another one. They've got a ton of talent yet.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, San Jose, like I like it. We'll see. I mean, they got to win in regulation eventually in our lives. But Anaheim's another one. I mean, is this who Anaheim is? I mean, they're getting some goaltending, right? I mean, that's why they said, see you later, Gibson, we're done with you. 5 years too late, but whatever. And they're starting to get some scoring there and some coaching, I believe, too.
Yeah, that it kind of helps. Hey, by the way, when it comes time to get yourself a house, whether you're buying, selling, or both, you need to contact the right agent. Who do we recommend? Well, we recommend this lady right here, Lindsay Broadwell. Your house is probably the biggest investment you'll ever make, and that's why you need a pro. Lindsay grew up in the area. She's expanded her team all over Southeast Michigan, and she's an expert in all facets of the business. When it's time to move, our friend Lindsay and her team will make sure you get the most out of your house and everything goes smoothly when finding your new home. Buyer, seller, even first-time buyer. It doesn't matter. Make sure you contact Lindsay at BroadwellHomes.com. She'll help you with everything from start to close. Licensed realtor at Real Broker LLC. Start your search today at BroadwellHomes.com. You know, there's one more team that I forgot to ask you about. And obviously there's a huge, huge hole in their lineup right now. But the Ottawa Senators somehow, some way, have gone through a very Senator-esque 5-5-1 where they've looked really good and they've looked really bad. Are we forgetting a little bit about the Ottawa Senators that maybe because a certain player isn't in the lineup and won't be in the lineup for quite some time?
Yeah, they're going to, when he's back, when they're full health, I think they're going to be a team to be reckoned with. But I mean, outside of that, Sean, I mean, when you look at, like, you go down and you go to the West, there's a couple teams there that you say are probably going to be, the East is going to be a mess. I mean, when you're looking at Florida, Ottawa, Tampa, these teams out, Columbus was a heck of a team last year, right? Are they going to take that next step? But sticking to your point of Ottawa, a lot of people might look past them, Sean, but this is a team that took Toronto to 7, right? I mean, they're made for the playoffs. I like them.
Did you see that comment?
No.
Jason, is it Bedard time? He did have 4 points last night, and he said, Shawner just set a 10-peat for the Habs. Best of luck, everyone else, in 2037. He's the guy doing it. It's Mike. Mike's doing it.
Yes, I am.
I think they're a big not yet this year. I do. I think they're a big. I think they're better. I think they're capable of winning a series or two. I worry, and Jason, you know this as a former goaltender. I worry that Quebecois pressure will mount, and they'll put the wrong guy in there. And it doesn't make sense to me. All right, I'm going to look up the numbers right now. Okay, you know what? Will you indulge me for just a second, Mike? I want you to indulge me for just a second, in case you guys aren't familiar with the numbers. And you know, in fairness, Mike, I did give Montem Blows a little bit of credit down the stretch last year. He played really well down the stretch. Okay, here are the numbers. You ready?
Yep.
One goalie has a 197 goals against average. The other has a 382. One goalie has a 930 save percentage. The other goalie has an 842. One goalie is 6-0. The other goalie is 2-3. You're going to have to pardon my language. I'm calling my shot right here. Okay. So if you have sensitive ears, turn off the show, or at least accept my apology ahead of time. What the fuck are we doing here? Why is that even a conversation?
And you go and you look it up online, Sean, and you can find people putting his name in the Vezina, which I think is a stretch, right? Yeah. But the argument for Rookie of the Year is there. That is there. And you're talking about he leads the league, and you talk about he's unconventional, right? He leads the league, not his team, not his division, not just against Montembeault, the entire NHL in high danger save percentage. All right. Saves above projected. He's one of the top goalies. That's when you're looking, right? These are the things.
It's the unorthodox stuff, man. It really is.
I mean, he is leading the league in these analytical categories that get you to the Vezina, that when they start breaking things down, which gets just more than when you look at a record and things like that. But it's again, we're only a few games in. But let's talk again in December and see.
The breaks. What do you think is a good, like Ron brought up earlier? He said, talk to me after 25 games. Is 25 games a good gauge? I mean, you're about a fourth of the season in. Is 25 games a good gauge?
That's how many games, again, and this is just my brain, that I believe they usually say that the percentages of the teams that are in the playoff positions after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Is the cutoff right there.
Yeah.
I think that is, and again, I'm saying that with, I don't know if that's 25 games.
Right.
I'm just being honest with you. I can't math that much, but that's the cutoff date, however many games that is. And I think you can really start. It's a very high percentage. You don't get much change from playoff to non-playoff after Thanksgiving.
Yeah. As Jason said, you have to play the Quebec boy. Duh. It is. Jason, like, honestly, I was watching this show. You can look it up. It's called La Antichambre. And they Mike, I'm going to send you the dumb tweet as soon as the show ends. I was sitting there saying, are we really doing this again? Like, I can understand if all things, listen, let me give you an example. Okay. There was a time where Brian Hayward was out playing Patrick Roy. There was Brian Hayward. No, really. Brian Hayward was out playing Patrick Roy. It wasn't by much, okay? But Jean Perrin, the coach at the time, drove people nuts because not only in 87, but then in 88, he decided that he was going to go with Brian Hayward, okay? This was only, when you're talking about 87, only a year from a 20-year-old kid winning the Stanley Cup. Pat Burns came in and said, fuck that. Gosh, I'm sorry. I got to watch my language. Pat Burns came in and said, screw that. We're going with Patrick Roy. I know it's close, but we're going with Patrick Roy. Patrick Roy responded with a Vezina type year, had an unbelievable season, took the Habs back to the finals. They lost to the Flames and everything. I can understand if it's close. I can. There's no comparison right now. Okay. And you know what a lot of people say, Mike? Well, it's a slow start. Okay, until he works out of the funk, how about we just play the kid as much as humanly possible? Is that okay?
Dude, I am going to be absolutely floored and demand my money back if they do something like that, Sean.
Yeah, you really should. See, now I got to go. All right, I just found the page, so I'm going to send you this tweaks. Here it is right here. Look, right here. I'm going to send it to you right now, okay?
Okay.
Hold on a second. Dumasil, I just sent it to you right there. I just sent it to you. Like, it's like I'm reading this stuff last night just going, are you serious? Let me do one more read before we get out of here. I got to tell you about our friends at the Wealth Advantage Group. See those guys, Mike Husak, Jeff Husak, they heard me scream at night many, many different times. They know Make History. Maybe you should ask them about Make History. This maniac yelling "Make History" at about 1:00 in the morning, one playoff night. They are located in downtown Northville and owned by those two fellas right there. Over 20 years of industry experience. And they understand that your financial goals are as unique as you are. And that's why they offer personalized expert guidance to help you navigate the complexities of financial planning. Now, whether you're saving for retirement, getting ready to sell your company, already in retirement, they can help guide you through every step of your financial journey. They work with clients throughout all stages of life, and they have clients in over 20 different states. The investment world is a complex one, so if you're ready to start taking your finances more seriously, it's time to work with the experts. Reach out to the Wealth Advantage Group at 248-773-8574 or check out their website at www.thewealthadv.com. See, Mike, I wanted you to see that so you knew I didn't make that up. You see what they have a picture of the Quebec license plate, and it says Martin Saint Louis, and then it says Je me souviens. Now, if you don't know what Je me souviens means, it means I remember when you were French. Like that's basically, so that's kind of like their mantra to keep the French, the French background alive. That's kind of the rallying cry of the province. And it's like, and so then they have a picture of Monty, and that's the thing that drives me. It was Gaston Terrien that was saying that. I don't give a crap if he's French or if he's Venusian or if he's Martian or if he's Siamese. You know who I want playing? I want the better option play. I really do. Call me crazy, but I do, Mike.
I want the goalie that's keeping the puck out of the net. And right now we know who that is.
Yep. No doubt about it. What do you think about this West Coast trip? Is it possible that we read too much into this, Mike? The Wings, as we said, going on the West Coast trip, it is never easy. It is seemingly never easy for the Wings, but in case you didn't know it, they've got the Kings Thursday, then they're down in Anaheim, 40 miles away the next day, and then they're in San Jose, and then Golden Knights. They're not back home to November 7th.
Yeah, I mean, it's a grind. Does it mean as much as it did when we were in the West? Like it was a big tell? No, not really. However, for a team like this, it means everything. When you go just last week when we had back-to-back road games, the Islanders and Buffalo, that's something for the kids to learn. These kids got to get out to the West Coast. They've got to learn that trip and that travel and all those games. And ending it, there's a lot of good hockey out there. They're going to be playing some good teams. So I don't think we're making too much of it. It is going to be a tell of what's going to be. Do you want to be better? Do you want to be that team? You're going to have to show up and do it when you're on a nice long road trip like this, especially with the kids. I can't wait to see what ASP looks like after this. What does Finney look like after this, right?
Yep, no doubt. Good point. Habs have to have a French-speaking coach and goaltender. I don't think people realize that. There's validity to that. So do you know how their power structure works? You can look this up. Jeff Gorton is like the president and Kent Hughes is like the general manager, and they kind of work in tandem. And they had to hire basically Kent Hughes because he's French-speaking and Jeff Gorton wasn't. He's from Massachusetts. So that's how they had to do it. And you legitimately have to have the French-speaking coach. And you don't have to, but it is strongly encouraged that your captain speaks French. So Nick Suzuki had to take like a crash course in French. It's 100%, it's legitimate. No doubt about that.
It's real. I've heard you talk about it. It's real. It's happening. Yep. You just hope it doesn't hinder the progress.
Oh, let's hope not. Jeez, oh Pete. All right. Anything else you want to get off your chest, pal?
You and I
go jump in head first into the high school hockey ranks next week, pal.
Love it. I love it. I can't wait to get right back into it. I can't wait to get out to some games. We've got a list, right? Yep. And if anyone out there is listening and you want us to cover your team, you know who to talk to. We can do this. We'll make it happen.
We'll find a way.
I think my friend Mr. Baligian just made it happen today, didn't he?
We'll find a way. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Birmingham and Brother Rice, actually. BU and Brother Rice. That's November 12th, if I'm not mistaken. So yep. I'm really looking forward to that. Mike, are you going to be able to come to the MIHL showcase Wednesday? Are you going to be able to go Wednesday?
The media day.
A media day showcase.
Yeah.
See where my brain is?
You had me messed up there.
Are you going to be able to come Wednesday?
I just have to wait for my schedule to come out. Right. I've got this whole new job thing going on, and it should be good just because I usually get off pretty early. So, and it's extremely flexible. Yeah. That I should be able to do it. I just don't want to speak too soon, but yeah, I'm looking pretty good.
So we can't do the KLA media day is Monday. We can't do that.
No.
Then Tuesday we're going to the OAA media day out in Troy. We'll probably find a way to eat some wings that night too. I'm just going out on a limb. I have a strong feeling we'll find a way to eat some wings. Wednesday we have we will have the MIHL media day. Now, are you free next Thursday to do another dumb hockey show, or do you have something Thursday like you did tomorrow?
No. I made that mistake. I admitted my mistake and got back a hold of you, but I have it on my calendar. Let me check. I'm pretty sure I have it on here. That would be the 6th, right?
Yeah.
Hockey podcast right there. Nothing on there. If I don't put it on the calendar, what I tend to do is put some things in there. And I totally had forgot that I've got a hot date and a casino to hit tomorrow that I had already had planned.
Dude, no, don't worry about it. So Yeah, we're going to be busy. Just imagine if
love it.
Scotty Bowman was born in Kentwood and never spoke French. It's kind of funny because, Scotty Bowman isn't exactly the most French name out there. Neither is Pat Burns. But what people don't understand is all the Irish people that moved to Montreal, they all learned French, and that was kind of passed down and everything. So both of those guys were incredibly listening to the anger of Pat Burns in particular. Like, Mike, you can find this. He said he got so mad at Shane Corson once. He said in French, he told him to eat shit. I'm not
Melt.
When I heard that when I was a kid, I was like, all right, I think he said Shane Corson can eat shit. And I had to make sure, and that's exactly what he said. He got so mad at Shane Corson, he said Shane Corson can eat shit. And of course, Scotty grew up just a couple blocks away, so he was, to Jason's point, he was bilingual like his whole life. So, for what it's worth. All right, so Todd, we will talk again tomorrow. Shep and I are tomorrow. Mike, I will see you Tuesday, probably Wednesday and Thursday night back here for Puck.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. God bless you. Who's that fighting in the background, by the way?
Corey Perry and Datsuk.
That's awesome. That's so good. Wait, you wanted to get a picture of the heavyweights, and you got a picture of the
100%. I mean,
all right. Thanks as always. Thanks to you guys as well. God bless you. We'll see you. Peace.
What the Puck with Sean Baligian. Executive produced by Sean Baligian and Todd Losey. Theme song, incidental music, and related sound effects are from Always Pushing Forward by Elliot Middleton. Engineering, mixing, and graphic design support provided by the Unsyndicated Podcast team. Don't forget to like and subscribe on all your favorite channels. While you're there, be sure to rate and review the podcast. Got something to say to Sean? Call the Unsyndicated hotline at 248-237-3257.